Today we're going to make fougasse. Fougasse is a French specialty from the south of France. It sounds a lot like focaccia because it's probably related. It's a flatbread. They always make windows in it, and it's a little hard in our books to see exactly how we make those windows. That's what I'm going to show you today. I have two 8-ounce balls of dough here. I also have, if you'll notice, a dark sport coat and dark pants and a dark shirt. And the idea here is to show how neat you can be and not make a giant mess doing this. Invariably, I end up looking like what the Pillsbury Doughboy would look like if the Pillsbury Doughboy wore a sport coat. One of the things you need, well, first dimple it. You've seen this. We're not going to go through this in too much detail with an 8-ounce ball of dough. I like to use a dough scraper. This isn't one, but I'm going to use it anyway. This is actually a chopper, which you'll notice in some of the pictures from our pizza book. And you can use something like it to scrape it off of there. I'm going to let you see that I will use a rolling pin. Uh-oh, some flour on me already. And when we get it to about 12 or so inches, we're going to do some strategic cuts. I've made sort of an elongated oval here for the basic fougasse, which is a windowed flatbread. And I've got a sharp knife here, not too sharp. Oh, it's pretty sharp. And I'm going to make some cuts at an angle. And sometimes you have to help them open. I've got a greased baking sheet. This is a heavy gauge aluminum, which I like. I like the natural ones. I don't like the non-stick. You can kind of pick this up by rolling it over your hand and rearrange it on here so it's more nicely open. Make sure those are open. It's kind of like a Halloween jack-o'-lantern, isn't it? That's what I was thinking. And then go ahead and brush with more olive oil. This was greased with olive oil. I'm going to add more. They use a lot of olive oil in the south of France. One of the healthy fats. That was a bit of an unhealthy dollop I just put on it. Try to be ginger with it, unless you really like it. And then at some point it really turns into, well, fried bread, which is also good. They traditionally put thyme on it. I wish I had fresh thyme, but I didn't. It's winter in Minnesota. A little dried thyme. Don't overdo it with dried. It's pretty strongly flavored compared to the fresh. And if you're not on a salt-restricted diet, a little coarse salt right on top. And then into a 500-degree oven, for about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm using a stone, but you don't have to when you use it in hand. So about, let's check it in 5. So this looks pretty good. It is done. I do like to let these go until they are crisp. This is not meant to be a soft flatbread. It's meant to be a firm and crispy one. Now we're going to make a windowed fougasse. This is baked at a lower temperature of 425. It's going to have fantastic red peppers coming through the windows. So you're only going to make the cuts on one side. If you made it on both sides, well, the roasted red peppers would fall through the other side, I guess. Should be very unsightly. Okay, now I take my roasted red peppers and I plop them in line with the windows. Now if you're really observant here, you'll notice that these aren't red peppers. They're tomatoes, because I forgot to get the red peppers. Doesn't really matter. It's just a different thing. It's kind of more like pizza. And it's so much like pizza, I think I'm going to put some mozzarella cheese on it. Don't overdo it with toppings in this, because it is very thin. I should have said that everything's been rolled out to about 1/8 of an inch for this process. And now what I'm going to keep it as French is I am going to use some thyme and olive oil. Don't overdo it with any of these. So take some water on a pastry brush and go around the edge on one side, the side with the toppings, I should say with the fillings, because this is going to be rolled over. I did this on parchment paper. You can do it without it, but it takes a little bit of effort, and this is easier. So go ahead and pull this over. You're going to have some rearranging to do, but not too bad today. Pinch it together where you put the water. Now we're going to make it a little French. We're going to take some olive oil, a little dried thyme on top of this. Don't overdo it, but this will make it more of a French scene. And a little coarse salt. Get rid of some of that, because you don't need all of it. and into a 450 degree oven. It needs a little longer. The other thing got baked in about 5 to 10 minutes. Actually, it was about 7.5 minutes. This is going to get done in probably 15 or 20. It's pretty thin, but not as thin as the other. Into the oven it goes at 450, and we'll come back and check it out. Okay, let's go get that windowed Fougasse out of there. Let's bring it to the table. We need to reabsorb some of the oil and cool off a bit. Because that tomato and cheese kind of went everywhere. But those are the windows, and cheese comes out. We'll let that cool a little bit and try it. Okay, it's ready to go. Kind of a stuffed pizza. Looks beautiful. Let's take a look at this. This came out just the way I want it. I like this to be a little crunchy. It's not like a pita bread. See that? The middle is really crispy. Moral of the story is, make sure you have the peppers in the house, and second, don't wear dark clothes to do bread. So see you next time.